Very short clip here, but just up to the farm to collect the stakes because I'm moving things around in the lab and I realize I need stakes for the peppers. So I'm up here to clip the strings and pull these and get them out of here for the winter. I might snag a tomato root or two just for the heck of it. Stick in the lab just to see how they do. Anyway, wanted you to hear the crickets singing. Just want to get a clip of this. This is one of the bigger, better producing tomatoes. Those Italian seed tomatoes, Italian seed company tomatoes. And I've just ripped this one up out of the ground. I just kind of grabbed it by the base of the stem. I pulled it up and I cut off most of the stem from it. And I'm going to stick this into the lab in some soil and give it a shot with some rooted leaf Agritech A and B and see if we can't get this thing to recover in the lab and start growing. Basically, this is a scion cutting that's already rooted. We're going to try and take advantage of that. I'm going to grab a couple of the Roma plums from down by the potato block as well. All along in here is this lamb's quarter. This is a first level species. This is one of the first successions to bring soil back from tillage. This is one of the things nature does. This stuff is really interesting. It grows a tall candle-like yellow flower later in the season when it's mature. And early season it makes this really soft leaf. They also call this poor man's toilet paper or something like that because it makes a great natural toilet paper if you don't have toilet paper out in the wild. But I'm going to take a few of these leaves and wrap this root in these leaves just to help keep them from drying out too much while we go back. I think I said lamb's quarter in the video, but actually it's mullein, common mullein, Rhabascum thapsus. This is a good picture of it. So I'll zoom in on that a bit. See what I mean by that tall candlestick kind of looking thing. And you can do further research. Obviously, this is at the Wisconsin Horticulture Division of Extension that I found this in. Just so you can see it's wrapped up. It's not a lot of protection, but it'll help keep direct airflow from hitting the roots and help protect those sensitive root hairs a little bit better. Potato block. Haven't harvested it by this end yet, but these are those Roma plums that had the mulch down, and you can see where the deer have just been chewing them back and chewing them back, basically grazing on these as they grow back. So I'm going to snag one of these. I think I'll take this one. That's a nice big bush. I'm just going to yank that whole thing out by the root, take it back to the lab and plug it in. I guess I'll just give you a shot of it yanked out. You can see where it started on the original root and then it bent over and rooted again. We're going to plug this whole bush in, probably prune it back a bit before it gets plugged in, and then revitalize it in the lab, hopefully, and hopefully that'll accelerate us forward to production much more quickly in the grow lab. All right, so I'm back here in the lab. I put the tomatoes outside in a crate with some soil around the roots and gave them a good soaking watering. I'm going to hold them over till tomorrow when I can see them better in daylight and do some pruning and preparation, because I'll tell you what, out there compared to in here, the size of those plants look so much smaller out there. But when I went to stick them in one of the crates, I was like, holy cow, they're huge, even grazed back. Anyway, the whole point was to go and get the stakes here. So I'm going to go through and stake these peppers up, and I'll probably top up their soil a bit, and I'll probably give them a good watering, soaking. I'll probably hit everything with some primer A and B. I've not done that yet. The Rooted Leaf Agritech primer A and B, and I want to make sure everything has got a good baseline nutrient set. And I think that's a nice, easy way to do that and just keep things balanced. While I'm in here, I'll give you a shot of the tarragon that I brought back. That is really taken off nice. And of course, a shot of our beloved catnip as it's just exploding. Still on only 1 feed of the Rooted Leaf Agritech. I still got to get back and feed this, but I think I'll include this in tonight's feed and see what we get. Well, there we go. They're all staked up. I believe there's 5 pepper plants in there, and I've got 6 stakes in to support them all. That took some time to tie them up without breaking them all. There are some pretty solid, thick stems down at the base. You can see I broke one right there. Just couldn't avoid it. Ended up snapping on me. Now, for anybody who wanted to keep this going, you could take this as a cutting, basically, put it in some good moist soil, give it a good feed, and it would very likely root up for you and could keep growing. Of course, my problem is I only have a limited space in here with 5 pepper plants that are going to take off like rockets. I don't have room for number 6. I don't even really have room for 5, and I may end up culling a few of these after we figure out which are the really nicest, best plants. Might end up just saving 2 because these are going to get huge. Remember, these are really a South American perennial bush at the end of the day. We've just brought them up in the northern hemisphere where they are annual because of winters, but they can be kept going for a long time as a quote-unquote perennial. All right, so I just went through and topped the soil up in these good with some remixed recycled soil from another planter. Should be fine. I'm running out of time for tonight, so I think I'm just going to come through with some primer A/B blend and give everything a soak, make sure everything's watered well, and call it a night in the lab for now. All right, little rearrangement in here. Got everything watered in nice, and I went through and did primer A and B, not on the ginger experiments here, not on this ginger, not on that ginger, and not on the catnip. The catnip is still pretty wet, but everything else has been done, including the lemon verbena and the peppers. I did not hit the olive tree either, and figs. I did do the Meyer lemon and the Valencia orange and the Sanguilini orange, and also the sweet potatoes over here in the corner. And I guess that's it in the lab for tonight. I got to get on with other things. Hey, just remember, you always reap what you sow.